Do you always feel in control of your trading? Can you consistently read the chart correctly? Because I just closed a very profitable trade, it's a more than 3.5x return, and this was possible only because I was able to have a very clear picture of the chart and understand what was going on. If you're curious to learn how you can do the same, then let's go back to the beginning and review the trade together. Today I'm looking at the US dollar Japanese yen on the 15 minutes time frame, and I'm using three indicators: the breakout pivotal bars, the levels and zones, and the sentiment index. In particular, I will be building my setup with two indicators, the breakout pivotal bars and the sentiment index, and I use the levels and zones in this case just as a general reference to understand what the price action is doing. So what I'm looking at, and by the way, if you want to test the indicators yourself, you find the link in the description down below. So what I'm looking at is this movement of the pair, which is trending up. Of course, on a macro point of view, it's moving up. So I'm looking for a further up movement. In particular, as you can see, we got one impulsive movement here, one retracement here, so a consolidation. Let me draw better this one for you. Okay, you see this consolidation, and then we have another impulsive movement here, and I'm looking at this consolidation that we have here, because I need to be very precise on this one. Okay, I'm looking at this consolidation here because we might get another upward movement. Moreover, if I have a look at the sentiment index down here, I see that the bullish sentiment index is going down quite significantly. See? So, So what this means is that it's getting pushed toward the zero line. Let me draw another trend line for you so that you can clearly understand what I mean. So this is the zero line. Okay, so as you can see, the bullish sentiment index can only move within this small triangle here, and in the next few candles, in the future, in the short-term future, the bullish sentiment index is getting compressed, and eventually it must decide what it wants to do. So if it goes down, it becomes a bearish sentiment, and so it means that the market is bearish and we should see the price coming down. In this case, I will not be interested in the opportunity because I'm looking for an upward movement like we had in the past. So you see impulse, consolidation, impulse, consolidation, another impulse. On the other hand, and this is what I'm looking for, is the bullish the sentiment index gets compressed and compressed and compressed, and eventually it pops to the upside. So I want to see a break up, so a break to the upside here of the bullish sentiment index, and at the same time I want to see a break up of this consolidation from the price, and it also be a candle of color green, so just like this ones. The color of the candles is given by the breakout pivotal bars. So a green candle is a bullish candle, a red candle is a bearish candle, and then once in a while some blue candles could appear. In this case, blue candles are indecision candles, so you just need to pay a closer attention to the price action around those candles, because they basically could mean two things. So either a trend continuation or a trend reversal. So you just need to pay a closer attention, but it's not a big issue. So what I want to see is to have a green candle. Right now we are not close to this situation, but we are probably getting closer because the consolidation is forming, We have a nice consolidation that's taking place here, and more importantly, the sentiment index is getting compressed. So eventually we will get something. In which direction we cannot tell. The likelihood is that the price will move higher, but if we have a perfect setup is yet to be seen. So I'll keep you posted on this. And we have a setup, because as you can see right now we have a green candle. We just need to adjust this trend line, because you see we got a red candle here which went higher and then retraced, and moreover it was red candle, so we are not interested in this one. So we just need to adjust the trend line to be slightly higher, but this breakup is very clear, so we don't have any doubt here. If we look down, we can see that the sentiment index is also breaking up right now, so everything is absolutely perfect. Okay, we are sitting above a support. It's pretty far down, so this is not really a big help in this situation, but this is something that we still must recognize, that we have some upward pressure from this support down here. So okay, the trade looks like this. Our entry price is going to be pretty much at this level here. The stop loss, well, let's begin with the target. The target is the easiest one, because we just take the previous impulse, I clone the same trend line, and we project it to the upside. So we set the lowest point to be exactly the lowest point of the consolidation. In this case is this one, and we just project it to the upside, and so we end up all the way up here. Okay, that's good. Let's see. Okay, and then what we need to fix is the stop loss. The stop loss, well, we can be very conservative and set it below here, so that it is lower than the lowest candle in the consolidation. In this case, we are very safe. Or we can be a bit more aggressive, but not that much, and set it here, which is below the lowest tiny retracement in the consolidation. Okay, you see the lowest, we just look at the most recent price action, and we give it a bit more room to go lower if it wants to retest maybe the consolidation. Why I said that it's not that aggressive still, because when we have this kind of setups, we see clearly very impulsive movements. So if you see here, the price breaks up and it moves up, then yeah, it comes back down to retest, but then it just went straight up. So when we have this kind of movements, maybe after the breakout it goes up, and then maybe comes back down a little bit to retest this level, but then goes straight up. There are situations in where the price just explodes to the upside, or of course to the downside if we are on the opposite side of the trade, so we have an opposite setup. But the basic idea is that in this kind of setups we can be a little bit more aggressive, because these are typically impulsive movements. Okay, so the trade is set. Let's see how it evolves. So the price is now moving higher, and as you can see, it made kind of an impulsive movement to the upside. It looks like now the pace is a bit slower, so I don't know, and this is something we can never predict, how it will continue, so how fast it will reach our target, or how it will reach our target. Maybe it's gonna take one candle and go straight up, maybe it's gonna take like 20 candles and go like tiny up, or very gently, or maybe it's gonna go down and then up and then down and then up, and ultimately it's gonna go up. What we can predict is that, and we can do that with a very high confidence, is that the price should reach our target, because when we have this kind of setups with impulsive movements followed by consolidation, and impulsive movements followed by consolidation, in the end we are just following the trend. And you know guys, the trend is your friend, so as long as you stay into the trend, you're gonna get to your target. So I don't know how the trade is going to move from now. I'm just keeping it under control, and I'll keep you updated on how it evolves. So the price keeps moving higher. It went almost to our target and then retraced a little bit. I am now at break even anyway, so since I saw this very straight up movement, I decided to move my stop loss to break even, so that in the worst case scenario, if the price comes back all the way down, I'm now in a risk-free trade, so I will not lose any money, but actually make very tiny but still some profit. So guys, let's just be more patient and see how it moves. Now it's the time when most traders get really frustrated and maybe even scared, because guys, see what happened here. So the price almost reached our target. You see, it was very close to the target, but then it retraced and went back down, and then unfortunately we are sitting below a new resistance. So as you can see here, we have a resistance which is above us, and which means that if we expect the price to come all the way back up, then it must break the resistance to the upside, and we know that these levels are very major levels. So we have two options here. So the first one would be to exit at the current level, so to close the trade, and we still make some nice profit. It's definitely more than one-to-one risk reward, so it's still a very interesting profit. Or the second thing we could do is to, of course, stay in the trade, because we expect the price will continue to move higher. Considering we are in a major uptrend, I don't see any big trouble from the price to continue higher. The only problem is whether it's going to continue higher from this level here, or maybe somewhere here, or to continue higher but going below our break-even point and then continue higher. So this is the only problem, because in the end, even if the price comes down, we make money. So I just don't care whether the price comes down or goes up. I'm just concerned about the fact that it would be a pity if we get stopped at this break-even point, while at the same time I still believe that the price will eventually reach our target. That's my only concern. What I see here is that this resistance level might play a major role in keeping the price lower. But what I decided to do is to stay into this trade, just because I'm at break-even already. So I will stay into the trade and see how it moves, because in the end I see also here in the recent past and also here, we didn't get resistance, but we got some red candles. So the price went a little bit on the bearish side here, but then eventually moved to the upside quite rapidly. So it might be the case, even in this scenario, that we might have some bearish movement going on here, with this resistance which appeared, but then eventually the price will continue to go higher. so reaching our target and probably maybe going beyond, since we are in a major uptrend. So for guys, I will stay into this trade, and of course I'll keep you updated on how it goes. So the resistance is playing its role because it's pushing the price lower. Actually, the price almost went to our break-even point, not very close, but almost went down to the break-even level. And then the price went higher, tried to break to the upside the resistance, but it couldn't. So it's now just retesting the resistance. The encouraging aspect is that we are now on the bullish side of this trade. So the candles have turned green again, and also the sentiment, the market sentiment, so the sentiment of the market participants is now bullish. So if we can break to the upside this resistance, then it is going to turn into a support, which will definitely allow us to reach our target. Of course, it's yet to be verified, so we need to be patient and see what happens next. But considering the most recent price action, I'm very confident that we can now reach the target. It took some time, but we are now above the resistance. So the resistance turned into a support. So as you can see, these levels given by the levels and zones are very major levels. And as you can see, the price took a very long time before breaking this resistance. Now we are above the resistance, so it's now a support, and I'm very confident that we will soon reach the target, because now everything is pushing toward the upside. So the price will eventually get to the target. Maybe it's gonna take one candle, maybe 20 more candles, I don't know, but now we can be very confident that the price will go higher. The sentiment index is also bullish, still bullish, so there is no technical evidence why it should not go there. And we finally got to our target, guys. So the price has actually moved well beyond the target, as you can see right now. But I mean, who cares? The most important thing is that we got to our target, which is absolutely excellent, because it's more than 3.5x return. The fact that the price now moves higher, maybe even significantly higher, is something we should not care about. Because the most important thing is that we are able to make a very strong analysis of the market in a clear and simple way, and this is the one that we made initially at this level, at this point here, when we initiated the trade, and even before, when we were seeing this consolidation forming. And then once we see the setup, we just trade and stick to the evidence. That is the only important thing. The fact that the price now goes even higher is something we should totally ignore, because right now we cannot predict where the price will go. It could just go higher and higher and higher, or just drop to I don't know how much in the next candle. This is something we cannot predict right now, because we don't have the evidence in the indicators and in the overall price action. So guys, we always need to maintain rationality, as long as we stick to the evidence and we use the tools that we build confidence in, like the indicators that I'm using in this setup, then we will be profitable over the long term, because this is for certain. Today we got a 3.5x return, which is absolutely excellent, and this is the most important thing at the end of the day, to grow our trading account. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like it and subscribe if you didn't already. If you have any question about the setup, about how I manage this trade, or about the indicators, feel free to ask down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.